Let's talk Tanya for the 5th of Adar. The last two chapters, chapters 29 and 30, we were undergoing a process of mevachinle, crushing the ego. We, in chapter 29, we spoke about crushing our ego by contemplating our essential lowliness. In chapter 30, we spoke about contemplating our lowliness relative to other people. And here we are, ready to start chapter 31. And if chapters 29 and 30, if they were impactful, then we're feeling pretty lowly. We're feeling pretty down and pretty crushed. And what's that all about? Didn't we learn a few chapters ago, chapter 26, we need to be besimcha, we need to be in a place of positive energy, in a place of excitement and happiness and enthusiasm. So this whole process of mevachinle seems to be quite uncharacteristic of Tanya in general, of the way Chassidus views life in particular. And if I can add just something, which is that this whole preoccupation with self, we're thinking about ourselves, how lowly I am, and how lowly I am vis-a-vis myself, how lowly I am vis-a-vis other people. You know, isn't this whole focus on self-klipa? The whole concept of klipa is me, self, as opposed to kedusha, holiness, is about God and focusing on my mission, on my purpose, and not really thinking much about yourself. So here, as we start chapter 31, the Alter Rebbe says, yes, you are right. Really, what we want to get to is a state of simcha, but nevertheless, the words the Alter Rebbe uses, lo yachush. Don't be upset. Don't be overly perturbed by the fact that right now you are in a crushed state. And the reason why is because this is all with a purpose. We're heading somewhere. You're not meant to stay in this place of crushedness. And the reason why we're doing this, let's stay focused on the goal, is we need to get to a place of positive emotions, but we're suffering right now from something called timtum halev. We're suffering right now from numbness and emotional unresponsiveness. And the reason why we are suffering from that is because the ego is too strong. Now, sometimes you can crush and overpower the ego simply by focusing on the positive. Using the mind to contemplate and think about the greatness and beauty of Hashem and Torah and mitzvahs. But in this case, it's not working. And therefore, the only way to deal with it right now is by dealing with the ego on its own terms. Meaning, yes, you enter a state of ego. You're thinking about yourself. You're focused on yourself. But what is the purpose of this focus? The purpose of the focus is to crush the ego. And therefore, Alter Rebbe says, this is a klipa, yes, but which is redeemable. And ultimately, where are we heading to? We're heading to a place of happiness, because once the ego is crushed, we're going to be able to get to a place of happiness, as we will see starting in tomorrow's Tanya. So, yes, these past two chapters have been quite harsh. There's a branch of Jewish study called Musar. And a big part of Musar is this idea of being harsh on oneself and self-deprecating and crushing the ego. And these past two chapters of Tanya, you can argue they're somewhat like the Musar of Tanya, the Musar of Chassidus. But we have to remember, the point isn't to stay in a place of mivachin, a place where you're crushed. The point isn't to stay in a place of negative emotions. This is all a tool, and this is going to lead us to a place of happiness. And that is what we're going to start talking about tomorrow, how to leverage this to getting to actually a place of happiness.